The president throws the ball a good 8 or 9 times. Each time Sherlock drops the ball at his feet, he laughs. God damn, I wish Buddy knew how to do this. We walk along the beach for half an hour or so just talking, and then somehow the subject of our fathers comes up. And I mentioned that mine had been a bus driver and an alcoholic, and that's when he tells me about his stepdad, who was also an alcoholic. It turns out we both have a lot in common. We both had alcoholic dads. He was Southern white trash. I was Midwestern white trash. He got elected president twice. I voted for him both times. We talk about our favorite presidential trivia. Did you know that not only did George Washington free his slaves after he died, but he was also an accomplished spelunker? Or that William Howard Taft was the fattest president ever to hold office, tipping the scales at over 350 pounds? I don't know, it's weird, but the conversation we're having isn't the least bit stilted. It just kind of flows. To be honest, if I was a single woman or a gay man, I would have wanted to jump his bones. It was right around then that we noticed that Buddy is nowhere in sight. But I have a pretty good idea where he is. We head around the cliff to a small rocky hidden section of beach. Buddy's swimming laps around an outcropping of rock covered by big, fat sea lions. He's barking at them, and they're barking at him. He's gonna get killed, I say. Sea lions, as cute as they are, can kill you if you're dumb enough to mess around with them. When I say he's gonna get killed, I look at the Secret Service agents, and Special Agent Pogue has dropped the president's shoes and socks and pulled his gun out. I look at Agent Pogue and say, no, don't do that, as in, please don't shoot any sea lions. And the president says, put that thing away, Dave. And Dave does what he's told, but I swear he doesn't look happy about it. I take off my tennis shoes, jeans, and t-shirt and strip down to my boxer shorts. This is all kind of weird because basically I'm taking off my clothes in front of the president. And that's when he says, you're not going in there. And I say, yeah, I am, but don't worry, I've done this before. I don't say it the way Batman would say it. I say it more the way Don Knotts might say it. When I get about 10 feet from Buddy, the sea lions notice me and start barking even more fiercely. There's one sea lion who seems particularly pissed off, and he's pretty big, at least the size of William Howard Taft. And he looks like he's going to slide off his rock and come in after both of us. And that's when I grab Buddy by his collar and begin swimming back toward shore, away from the sea lions. Buddy and I climb up on shore, and Buddy shakes himself off. I pull on my jeans, and the president grabs Buddy and rolls him over and tries to alpha dog him. Bad dog, he says. Buddy's a bad dog. And that's when I interrupt. Don't say that, I say. And the president looks at me kind of confused and says, why not? And I say, because Buddy's a good dog. And I go over to Buddy and I scratch him behind his wet ears and I say, yeah, Buddy's a good dog, yeah. I look at the president and say, when Buddy took off and went swimming out to the sea lions, he was a bad dog. But when he swam back with me, he was a good dog. You see, you can't punish a dog for doing something bad after he's already done it, and then on top of that, he's done something good to try and make up for it. Dogs, like presidents, have virtually no short-term memory. After that, the president drives me home. He doesn't actually drive, but you know what I mean. When Sherlock and I get out of the limo, he shakes my hand and pats Sherlock on the top of his head. Thanks for taking me and Buddy to the beach. He says, we had a great time. I say, we did too. And then I scratch Buddy's ear and I tell the president, get him a can of tennis balls and play with him for 10 minutes every time you come home. And he says, I sure will. Like he doesn't mind in the least that I just gave him advice about his dog. And that's when he looks at me and says, you call me Bill. Okay, Bill, I say. You make sure and give my best to your wife, Mary, he says. And then he adds, we'll see you soon. Mary and I spend the rest of the day on the phone calling our friends and mothers and telling them about my day at the beach with the president, my new best friend, Bill. I didn't expect that I'd see him again soon, but on that, I was wrong. A couple of months later, I get another call from him. He tells me he's coming back out to California to look at more houses, and he wonders whether or not Mary and I might like to join him and Hillary for dinner. Apparently, the Spielbergs, the Hankses, the Dansons, and the Bloodsworth Thomasons will all be out of town. And so, of course, I say yes. I didn't have to check with Mary first or even ask what night. I knew one way or another we would find a babysitter. The night we're supposed to meet the Clintons for dinner, we drive down to this place called Cafe Delfini, this quiet little Italian place. And when we get there, the valet guys are all Secret Service agents. The first person we meet at the door is Special Agent Pogue, and he has one of those metal detectors that looks like a cricket bat. After he waves the cricket bat metal detector thing over us, he lets us into the restaurant, which is completely empty except for the staff. There isn't a single customer in the place except us. I ask Agent Pogue if Bill and Hillary are here yet, and he tells me no, the President and First Lady are en route. Then I hear one of the other agents whisper into this walkie-talkie mic thing on his wrist, do we have an ETA on Elvis? Bill Clinton's Secret Service code name is Elvis. I have no idea what Hillary's Secret Service code name is, and I wonder if I'll have the nerve to ask. The Clintons don't show up for almost an hour. When they finally breeze in, they look like Mary and me when we've been having a fight in the car and have to put a pin in it in front of friends. Hillary orders the same Merlot that Mary is drinking, and Bill orders a Diet Coke. Mary pulls out a copy of Hillary's book, It Takes a Village, and asks Hillary to autograph it. Hillary is won over immediately. Mary had read the book and loved it. She'd wanted me to read it, but so far I hadn't. I'd meant to, but you know how that goes. I was nervous about any discussion involving a book that I was supposed to have read but hadn't. This was a fear I'd had ever since junior high school. Mary looks at Hillary while she's signing it and says, it's so true. It really does take a village. And Hillary says, it does, doesn't it? Bill and I just look at each other. I'm tempted to make a joke about writing a book called It Takes a Nanny. But I'm smart enough to realize that that would probably piss off both Hillary and Mary. Bill asks me how Sherlock is doing, and I ask him how Buddy is doing. And Hillary says, that dog keeps chewing up my shoes. And Bill says, I keep forgetting to get him that can of tennis balls. Mary shows Hillary pictures of our kids, and Hillary shows us Chelsea's graduation photo from Stanford. The two of them talk about Chelsea going to Oxford and where our kids are going to preschool. And then during a lull in the conversation, in between the salad and the main course, Mary looks at Hillary and says, so, what's your Secret Service name? Hillary blushes and looks at Bill. And Bill says, go ahead, tell them. Hillary looks at Mary and says, evergreen. And Mary says, oh, are they your favorite trees? And Hillary says, yes. But don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't love deciduous trees as well. It's just that I find evergreens to be so enduring. When she says the word enduring, she gives Bill a look, and I wonder if what she really means is long-suffering.